Congressman, let's talk about why things are like this. There have been hearings on Capitol Hill, as we've been discussing, pointing the finger at who was there and why they were there. Yet in the last 2 months since the insurrection, we continue to have prominent Republicans push this idea that it was outside agitators. Ron Johnson is one of those. And we have prominent Republicans, including basically the backbone of the Republican Party right now, CPAC, going out and continuing to push the big lie at their conference the other day. Mike Pence did the same in an op-ed. So when does what is going on with the Republican Party? Is there a return to normal, or is the Republican Party now just all about this big conspiracy because they think it's benefiting them?
I think the false flag and big lie sort of plays into the narrative for the 2022 midterms. And, you know, I've said this a few times that we could have a real issue, right, with the GOP taking the House back based on the fact that this stop the steal messaging works. And I was listening to Ben a little bit earlier, incredible rundown of why March 4th was important. But I think crazy gets stuck in their own rabbit hole sometimes, and they think the light is that false flag operation, which is what you're seeing with March 4th. But you're seeing that fundraising, and I'm going to be really blunt here. I've talked to members of Congress. I was just there. And the fundraising on this type of language is so good at the grassroots level. I don't see that language going away at all. And when you're looking at some people running, whether it's in Michigan or Texas, they're still spouting this sort of big lie, false flag conspiracy narrative. And when you listen to Ron Johnson, that's just idiotic, right? That's a brain cell issue. Or you're pandering for some kind of fundraising, or you're still some kind of Trumpophile that can't seem to get out of your own way mentally. I just don't see how you can look at the data and say this was some kind of false flag operation. And we released a report on this, and we knew there was a minimum of 7 white nationalist groups that were involved. You know, I'm the chief strategist for the Network Contagion Research Institute, and there's people right now that you're interviewing, like Ben and the others. They absolutely know without a doubt, right, that individuals are going to continue to push this because this is well beyond President Trump now. This has been institutionalized. And this is the fact is that we as a government are not to be trusted. This has gone beyond the messiah of President Trump, and now we're seeing this new rehash of the New World Order coming out. And I got to tell you, I'm not as optimistic as other people that this is going away anytime soon.
You're saying that lawmakers know how good the fundraising is. They're aware of it, and that's why they're continuing to do it, because it's all about raising money for their coffers to continue to hold their seat in Congress, that they're tearing everything down just for the dollars, and that they admit it? Sure.
You know, and this is an answer, right? That when you're talking about getting reelected, you're thinking about short-term memories of voters. You're looking at the fact that you're going to win the next race regardless. So if this is what you want to do, you're going to automatically say, you know what, I'm for election integrity, right? You know, there was some fraud there. The election might have been stolen, but, you know, you're going to have this sort of mealy-mouthed messaging, but it's all going to go back to stop the steal, or it's all going to go back to the fact is that President Trump's policies were working. The election was stolen. We need to get that back in 2024. And the 3 things they're going to run on is election integrity. Are you loyal to President Trump's policy now, and will you support him in 2024? Those are the 3 things, the biggest questions you're going to have the grassroots asking candidates in these districts.
Question is, how many people will continue to believe it? And if they do continue to believe it and continue to lose, what else are they going to try to do about it? Congressman Denver Riggleman, thanks for joining us and being so blunt. Carol Linnick, Ben Collins, Leanne Caldwell, thank you guys all for your exquisite reporting. And still ahead, Dr. Fauci warns it is not time to take the foot off the accelerator after Texas and Mississippi lift COVID restrictions. But other states are already following their lead.